team. I think what Kevin Wilson and his family and all the coaches and their families have persevered through so much over these years, and I'm really, really happy for them. And I'm happy for the players, obviously, happy for the seniors and juniors, everybody that's done it. I mean, seeing some record-setting performances and things of that nature, but I know how hard that group works. And you don't have to be across the parking lot to have a feel for what they put into it, and the level of energy and hard work and sacrifice they put into it. So really happy that they finished the season the way that they did, and they're going to get to continue to play, and that all the Indiana fans are going to get a chance to participate in that. But again, Kevin, Angie, his entire family, and his coaches and their families, and even the coaches that were here before that helped lay the groundwork for this, like the Mallorys. I think it's really, really special that they're going to get those opportunities. As far as us, we're excited to play tomorrow night. The team got back Friday night, and we practiced Friday night. We practiced yesterday. We practiced today, obviously. And much of it, there's been film. There's been a lot of, I don't want to call it cleanup, because in the games, when you really go back and look at it, it was so uncharacteristic of the way we've practiced. And it was certainly uncharacteristic of the way we had played against Creighton and even Austin Peay, but especially Creighton. And we just made too many careless mistakes. And so the biggest things we've got to do is we've got to play more fundamentally sound. And that huge part of our turnover problems. And then we've got to make the game. It's real. It's easy, and I guess it's kind of when you look at the ages, you can say, well, it's a veteran group. There's not a very veteran group on the front line. And I think it's important that everybody understand that. We don't have that front line. Losing Evan Holt hurt us when it did. And that gave us a veteran up front that knew what we were doing with a level of toughness. So we've got to grow into that right now. And we've got to make the game, I don't want to say it's simpler for our freshmen and even for Max a little bit, but especially for Thomas, but we've got to make it so that we can grow into it. We're asking them to do an awful lot in the ball screen that they haven't had to do before. And so, but at the same time, we've got to do a much better job of defending the screen with the guards, because that was one of our weaker points defensively, and was our ball screen defense, obviously. So there's some things we can do scheme-wise. There's some things we've got to do fundamental-wise to continue to get better at it. And then we just got to basically really play a lot of these screens the way we practice them, and with the level of technique and detail that we've got to have. So again, we're excited to play. Alcorn, they'll be coming in off some road games, and we're looking for a good crowd, great crowd, looking for an energetic crowd, and we expect to play with a lot of energy tomorrow night.
First question, Pete.
Tom, not that as a team you want to be humbled a little bit, but when you are, does that kind of, it's a motivator, refocus that, okay, now.
No, I don't use that word. I don't use that word humbled. I don't. I'm with them every day. If there was any humbling that needed to have happened before you lose games, we would have got it corrected. That's not the group we have. Okay, that's not the group we have at all. So, what you want to do is you want to continue you want to win and improve. And we won before we went out, and then we didn't really improve when we were out there the way that we needed to. And we didn't take care of some of the basic things that happen fundamentally. And I've got to do even more of helping them defensively, scheme-wise, so that we don't put guys in situations that they're not really ready for yet because they haven't played enough college games. And we're outside of Colin Hartman, who's playing undersized, we're with a brand new front line. And I'm not sure how many of everybody's picking up on that, but that actually is a fact. You know, with the exception that Max BFL played at Michigan, played in an entirely different scheme, different responsibilities, and was really last year part of three guys. And so it's not like he's got oodles of experience to fall back on in game experience. We've got more than anybody else, but we've just got to learn how to deal with that, and we will.
Colin, I think it was said that in sort of reviewing, I guess, the turnovers in Maui, that a lot of it was just forcing stuff that wasn't there, maybe being a little bit too aggressive. I know you've talked about maybe you'd rather have a guy that's a little too aggressive than not aggressive enough, but did you feel like, as you sort of deep dived into film, that a lot of those turnovers were unforced mistakes and maybe mistakes that can be cleaned up?
Sure, absolutely. I didn't think we made as many out of speed as I would have thought after going back into the film. Some were out of speed, but it was more just lack of vision. There were numerous ones, but it wasn't as much because we were playing fast. And it wasn't because we were playing tentative, it was a little bit because we were playing reckless. Go ahead, Jeremy.
How much of the improvements you feel like you need to make, how much is physical and how much is maybe mental?
Oh, it's all. I mean, Bob might say mental is physical is 4:1. He's the one that gets credit for saying it. He's the one that coined it. We've used that a couple of times the last couple of days. But even out in Maui, there's no question that it's that. But it's really, it's just, they've got to continue to get used to playing with each other. Okay, it's really easy to say, well, you know, we're a few games in. I mean, we're playing with a totally different inside presence, you know, with Thomas. And at the same time with Max. And now it's going to be really, really important that OG can step up and help us because we're going to be without Juwan for a little bit. Because he sustained an injury in this third game, right? Third game?
Yes.
So he's going to be out for a little while. And we'll be in the rehab process with him. So OG has really got to step up and help us even more. So it's really, the mental part is the communication part and the reminder part and the echo part. And doing it constantly. It's not just talking, it's the continued reminders that guys got to give each other in a game. It's not just calling out a screen or calling out a play, it's the reminders. But the physical part is we've got to do a better job defending screens when it comes to the defense, especially with the guards. We've got to do a better job of staying low and leveling the dribbler off when it comes to the forwards. We've got to do a better job of rebounding the ball, okay, everybody. 1 through 5. And we've got to do a better job of playing without our hands and keep getting used to these rules. And because we're going to have to keep making adjustment after adjustment because of the way the game is called. And that becomes part of the communication part. So that's the mental part that leads to being better physically inside of the game.
Are you structuring practices any different coming off now? I mean, do you scale back a little bit just to kind of go back?
Well, yeah, we did. But we got right at it after they got back on Friday, and they showered and got something to eat, and we went right to the weight room. So, yeah, we're structured. It's been a little bit earlier every day. And it's a tough recovery. How are you guys doing? Well, you weren't out there as long, right? When did you get there?
Friday through Thursday, Sunday through Thursday.
Yeah. So I mean, it takes time. So we've got to be aware of that. But I wouldn't say we're structured it a lot differently, but somewhat to make sure that we're getting a clear view of some of the things. And we've got to make some changes, with how we play certain things. So that's taken some time as well.
With the kind of learning curve and trajectory of the front line, how close is it to where you want to be, and then what's the next step for them to kind of get that experience and kind of catch up?
Were you 18 once?
Yeah.
Okay. How long did it take you to figure out how smart you had to be at 18 when you get to college and things like that?
Takes a while.
Time. Yeah. I mean, I don't understand. Everybody's got a different learning curve, in all honesty. And so, to me, we're asking an awful lot of Thomas Bryant. I mean, an awful lot. Now he's going to be good enough to get it, but it's going to take some time, especially with the defense. And but we've got to do a better job of protecting one another. Our help defense has got to be better. But they'll grow, and they're going to really, really need, the young guys are going to really need the reminders and the guidance and the echoes from the upperclassmen. And that'll help us. That'll grow over a period of time. We've worked hard at that the last few days. But I mean, how will it show up tomorrow night? I don't know. But we've got to get better at that. There's no doubt.
How receptive has Troy been to some of the teaching points you've?
Oh, he's extremely receptive. I just got done spending some extra time with him. Is what it is. I was laying there. Oh, he's very coachable. We got to get back to Troy's strengths. That's a big thing. We've got to get back to Troy's strengths. They're all very coachable. What happens is sometimes you get in the game, okay, and you start trying to do things that it's like a mirage. You think it's there, but it's really not. And then you get away from your fundamentals. And I thought Troy got away from his fundamentals because he's really improved in a lot of areas, and it didn't look like that in the games. But it looked like that last Thursday night, so it's not like where it's not there. But he's very receptive. And bottom line is there's certain things that we've got to all make sure we're getting. And if they're not there, we have to bring somebody else off the bench to get that. But as far as trying to get better and level of work and the proper attitude of learning and accepting the coaching, no question about it. Very good.
Just from what you've seen on film on Alcorn State, what stands out about their style of play?
A lot of scores. A lot of guys that can score. Their forwards can really score, and they can shoot from three. They're going to want to get into a pace in the game, and they're going to want it to be their pace. And we've got to make sure that we get to our pace. But at the same time, we can't let it turn into a one-on-one isolation battle. And they've got really strong forwards, and their guards are very quick. I think they're well coached. I think they can break the playoff at some point in time. The other thing is going to be key is rebounding, especially in transition, because they'll get out and run, and their forwards know that's one of their ways they're going to get the ball. So a lot of different guys can make plays. A lot of different guys, and our forwards are going to have to do a great job, and our guards are going to have to do a great job of blocking out. Our guard rebounding was not nearly up to par over those 3 games in Maui, and that's got to get back to being a strength for us.
I guess you talk about that, just to go back, but to seeing things that you think are there that aren't, is that just, so I guess so I can understand, is that maybe the difference between playing fast and playing reckless? Is you want to play fast, but when you start to maybe force things that aren't there, that's when you sort of cross the
Well, I
boundary.
think to me it was more fundamentals. It was more fundamentals. We're very, the fundamentals of practice with how you come off a screen, or the way you throw the ball, to what hand you deliver the ball. And some of that went away in the games. And that's the kind of stuff that we've got to get back. They know they didn't play like they practiced, okay? And they can see that, especially when they watch the films. And that's what we needed to get back to over these last couple of days and continue to build on that. So we'll make some changes over a period of time, and as people grow and get better with it. But at the same time, it's just a matter of just being fundamentally sound. 2-hand pass rather than a 1-hand pass. A bounce pass rather than an air pass. All right, not throwing no looks. I mean, some of the things were just, it wasn't that we tried to make too many plays for ourselves. We tried to make some plays that weren't there for others. Sometimes we tried to make plays for ourselves, but we tried to make plays for others that we weren't connected on when we tried to make it, for the most part. But we've got to be better with the ball. We've got to be better delivering the ball, and we've got to be more fundamental with the ball.
Okay, Coach, thank you.
All right, thank you.